On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we are talking about the final Star Trek Picard trailer for Season 3, and getting into a little bit of news. Right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in on two lifelong friends talk about Star Trek like they tend to do. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
How are you, my friend?
I'm okay. Got some aches and pains as usual, but we finally, my wife and I have been looking for a car, and we finally got one. So
Congrats.
yeah, thanks.
I know that was tough being without one for a minute there.
Yeah, it was like 2 months.
Oof. Well, very, very many congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, I've already been podcasting for an hour tonight. We just did the season episode 3 of The Last of Us, which is magnifique so far.
Magnifique, that you said.
Magnifique, indeed. Yeah, if anybody's watching it and they want to join us over on Pandavision, we're talking about that every week right now. I'm excited. It's really good. I'm on a high from like a really good episode of television, and then good conversation about it. And now it's bring me down with some Star Trek. And I'm just joking.
Bring you down with Star Trek and talking to me.
See, I didn't know which way to go with that joke, but I felt like that one was meaner. So I went with. Oh man, what do you think? What do you think of this here? Some news first. News.
I think we should hit first of all Annie Wersching. Sadly, who played the Borg Queen on Picard Season 2. She passed away. She was 45.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she had cancer.
That's terrible and really surprising. I had no idea she was sick. And that's terrible. And
you're probably really familiar with her. She was FBI agent Renee Walker in 2 seasons of 24. She was on Runaways.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in Timeless, Vampire Diaries. I don't think you know those, but I don't. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
She had a recurring role in The Rookie.
The Rookie. Oh, interesting. I haven't.
I didn't know if you watched that because you're a big Nathan Fillion fan.
I love Nathan Fillion, but I was very disappointed in Castle. I liked it. It just felt like a waste of his talents to me.
Yeah, I never really checked out, Castle. It was not really my thing.
Yeah, I think it's a procedural show, and it's just sort of gets to the point where you're like, I don't know, most shows that are procedural like that, especially if I get really into them to the point that I'm like really watching them every week and stuff. I just get tired of them. I just get where I'm like, I want something to happen. I'm like, don't need to know the same thing happening every week with very minor character movement.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Lucifer?
I watched the first half a season or something. It didn't really hook me, but I know you guys talked about it getting a lot better.
We it got marginally better, but it was still very much a procedural show for 4 years.
Oh gosh!
And then Fox canceled it, and Netflix took it up. And from what I understand, because I still haven't mustered it within my being to try it.
Really? You haven't watched it?
I haven't watched the Netflix seasons.
I thought if for nothing else, for the DC on Screen, you guys would have watched it and talked about it.
We've been talking about doing it. In fact, we skipped episode 666 just so we could have that be the number for the Lucifer episode. But I just, Jason's seen it, and he keeps telling me, you've got to see it. It's like 4 years of vegetables led up to 2 years of dessert is the most epic shit. And I'm just like,
all right,
I'm not there yet.
I haven't forgiven it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So what other news we got?
Well, I just thought we'd go right into the Picard trailer here before we get into, because the other stuff is
okay. Yeah. Just smaller stuff.
Stuff, and other series and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'm ready to dive in. What do you think of the trailer?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm just kidding.
Matt's been telling me how good it is, but I just haven't forgiven it for that last trailer yet.
I'm still mad about season 2. No, I think it feels very. I'm torn. I kind of feel like it seems like Star Trek Nemesis in ways I don't like, but also feels like Star Trek 6 in ways that I love.
Yeah. I agree with that assessment completely. I think it looks like, hey, it's Star Trek, the show about lots of laser fights, but which is disappointing. But even like them sitting down at the table and the guy, the whole like conceit of the trailer is the guy talking about how violent their time on the Enterprise was, and I'm like, I understand that he went through some pretty crazy things, and I'm sure like had more fights than the average captain, but he also like was not a violent man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot more captains that were, Kirk, for instance, like, I don't know, like there's people that are a little quicker, I think, on the trigger than Picard, and Picard was actually very slow to the trigger. And so for him to have that reputation, it bums me out. And I hope it's like a self-aware thing the show is doing where like he has that reputation, but that's not him. But I'm scared it's like, no, you guys remember that action adventure show, Next Generation, that's all about zooms and bangs?
There is a belief amongst the fandom that Picard was, very measured and very thoughtful. And he was. Mm-hmm. But like every week there was like, if there wasn't phaser fire, there like a warp core was going to explode. Like it's like LaForge says in this trailer, it's always life or death. Like,
yeah,
what it always has been.
Well, it's always life or death is different from like acting like Picard and crew, or like a warp core blowing up is a lot different than, or like having some mechanical problems is a lot different than some of the other stuff. That it seems like this is alluding to.
Right. Well, I mean, there is something that I like, and it's something that I have previously not liked. But the older I get and the more I look at these, as much as I dislike the formula that those last few TNG movies had, I look back fondly, surprisingly, on the Nemesis bit where Picard is just having fun driving around the dune buggy in the desert. Because I think like it is a really interesting harkening back, and I don't know if they meant for it to be this way, but it definitely feels this way with this trailer, where you start out in TNG, pre-TNG we find out, Picard was a young, reckless, thrill-seeking piece of shit.
Right.
And had his friggin' heart taken away from him because of it. And he course corrected. And he course corrected so harshly that he became this very serious, very stodgy individual. And I feel like that is also what Patrick Stewart was. Because, stories from the set, they would all be joking around and he would be like, "We are working. This is not the time." Mm-hmm. So I think, and finally Patrick Stewart lightened up and realized he was a buzzkill. And I think he wanted to bring that to Picard as well. As he's gotten older, he's now kind of veered a little bit into who he was, who he actually is, a little bit of the younger man he was. And as an admiral, missing kind of those thrill-seeking life and death adventures.
Yeah.
Remember in Insurrection when they're putting the thing on his head so he can go and talk to the ambassador, and he's like, "Remember when we were explorers?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but that's a different thing than remember when we had lots of phaser fire. I don't know. Yeah. I just never took him to be one that relished in the fight. He was always one that would that was the last. He'd threaten it. He would use it as a last ditch thing. He would defend them, but he was never one to revel in the fight.
I would argue that based on the evidence in TNG forward, Picard is the man who would relish the fight. he just secretly relishes it. He only lets it out with his close friends, like with Riker in that last scene. And right. I think that's fair. Like, there's a bit of him that's like, yeah, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it in the original text of like TNG, which, you know, sure, you can just say he's like missing it now that he's older, like now that he's to me, what I like about Picard is how measured he is, and he will fight if he has to, and he's awesome at it, and he does. He's like, you know, first thing he's known for is the Picard maneuver, back on the Stargazer. Like he's a great fighter, and he's like good at what he has to do, but like he's always trying to make peace first. Anyway. That's all neither here nor there. I think like there's a lot else going on in this trailer than just that opening thing with the this other captain or whatever, which I did enjoy. I like the idea of this captain's like, you know, you guys are gonna be good on my ship, right? Like you're not gonna do anything too crazy.
Yeah, and that might be like that's. You know, in context, it might be like, how did we get that reputation? Okay. Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. Okay.
I agree, and I hope that's the case. But there is that other line where it's like, are you smiling? Did you miss this? And it's like, that's Kirk to me. Like, that's literally the difference between those two characters to me.
And I would still argue that, you know, young Picard, like when you look back at Tapestry, this was the guy who was Kirk times 3.
Sure, but that's the whole point of Tapestry. Is like that was his younger days. He learned to be a little more measured while still taking risks.
Yes,
when he had to.
He overcorrected greatly, but as he's getting older, he's like, it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. I really love seeing all the other characters in this. I think him just being on screen with Riker in this. You know, working a problem in Starfleet uniforms, making jokes together, like, it's just great to see.
Yes.
Love that. Geordi, I love that Geordi looks pissed at him. I don't know why he's pissed, but he does not look happy with them.
You know, the great thing about LaForge is he always seems kind of pissed at Picard. Like, he really does. Look back at TNG, and I was thinking about that a couple years ago, whatever it was that we watched, All Good Things in preparation for Picard. And I was like, in All Good Things, you see that he has like this air of like, he's calling him Jean-Luc. And suddenly, for whatever reason, him calling him Jean-Luc really lets it out that he, like, the disdain. Like...
I never got that.
And when you go back and watch TNG, and you're just, especially once Geordi becomes like the chief engineer, he's always just so aggravated with things Picard wants him to do. He's like, you know, I got coolant links, Captain. What do you want me to do? Like, but he holds it when he's like talking to a ranking officer. You know, he's talking to the captain. He's like, I'll do my best, sir. But you could tell, like, he's got a bit of an edge to him. I don't know. I dig it.
No, I really dug it here. It's just been a long time, and you know that all of these relationships will not have held the same way, and they're all going to have to sort of come back together. And I just like to see LeVar Burton given a meaty line or two that, like, really some good stuff that he's going to be able to have these like arguments with them and stuff. I just think he'll be a great like foil for them, as if he's like kind of against whatever their plan is or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure by the end he'll come around and he'll end up in an engine room somewhere.
I would much rather see like characters who are closer to being peers rather than, you know, still in those subservient roles.
Yeah, 100%.
As much as I love the like original series movies, you know, you'd have like Sulu, who is the captain of the Excelsior now, and like whatever crazy thing, you know, Kirk wants to do, he's like, yep, that's Captain Kirk. We're going to do that. Like,
yeah,
because I have mad respect for the man.
Yeah.
That's great. But, you know, it's a little more interesting to have, you know, conflict, which some of that was also Gene Roddenberry suddenly deciding that Star Trek couldn't have conflict.
Right. So let's see. I feel like we didn't get a lot from Gates McFadden or Marina Sirtis in this trailer. I'm trying to remember if they had any like lines.
Oh yeah, Gates did. Gates did for sure. Like she was giving the transmission she sent, the encrypted transmission that she sent to Picard.
That's right. Yeah, so it seems like she is somehow in some sort of situation needing Picard's help, or at least alerting Picard to a problem. And then I liked all the lines between Worf, I guess it was just like one line between Worf and Rafi.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be this way too.
Yeah, and it looks like Rafi's using some sort of drugs again.
Yeah, it does. What conspiracy do you think it is this time?
I don't know. But, you know, they showed this, a new character who's played by Ed Speleers from Outlander and You. And he's going to be a series regular, and they are saying he aids Beverly Crusher's medical efforts on worlds Starfleet has forgotten.
Oh, interesting.
So apparently that's what she's doing.
Sounds a little like the Fenris Ranger mission as well.
A little bit, yeah.
Interesting. So I wonder if Crusher has encountered Seven at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seven's defending people, and she's trying to heal people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. It's cool. Were there any, like, interesting, like, I don't know, Easter eggy things or anything in this that I might not have noticed?
I didn't see anything specifically Easter eggy. I mean, you know, we had Lore, we had Moriarty.
Do we know that's Lore? Is that confirmed?
Yeah, in the last trailer, or maybe it might have been the first trailer, I don't remember, but at some point we see Lore, and then it cuts to Geordi going, Lore.
I don't remember that at all. That's funny.
We talked about it.
I'm sure we did.
And then I talked about why can't they give Brent Spiner a collar that doesn't show off his vagina neck.
Nope, no recollection of that. Now I see why I blocked it out.
Just give him like a little low cut collar, man. It's okay. You don't have to like have it pinched into the labia folds, you know.
All right. I'm glad he's back. I really want to see what Lore's been up to. And, like, I see he's wearing a Starfleet uniform. Like, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, no idea.
It's very interesting.
Very, very interested. You know, Terry Metalis has talked about how there are 3 different villains in this season. Obviously, one of them is Lore, one of them is Moriarty, and then the other one is Vadic. You know, this Christopher Plummer's daughter. I can't remember her name in real life, but that might be one of the reasons it reminds me so much of Star Trek 6 is because she's very much her father's daughter.
Right. Interesting. So we still don't know who. What do you think? What do you think of this villain? Like, who is she?
You know, Metalis was saying at the New York Comic-Con that he said there are certainly villains in the way that you would know them as villains, but they're not traditional, meaning I don't know that they will all fulfill that specific role, all 3 of them. He says, we really wanted a major villain for Vadic, that she should be a larger-than-life classic Star Trek villain who has her own reasons for doing what she does, and when you heard them, you would say, you know, she might have a point. Mm-hmm. So she, in the trailer, said she wanted revenge on Picard and Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got Beverly Crusher dealing with worlds, like trying to help worlds that the Federation has forgotten. Starting to sound kind of
Khan-esque.
Like perhaps Vadic was, you know, living on one of these worlds that Starfleet forgot.
Yeah, totally. Well, and whoever Vadic is, it looks like she's working with some alien race. They're all wearing these masks, which makes me wonder if they're like maybe an alien race we would know if they weren't wearing the masks.
I can't remember what they were calling them. The Shreve, something. I am distracted because it looks like the Executioner from the old X-Men comics, from like the Executioner song storyline in the 90s. They look just like that, and it's really distracting to me. I'm like, if MCU ever went and did like Executioner song, I would expect Executioner to look just like that.
Interesting.
is bizarre. But yeah, a lot of cool ships crashing and stuff though. A lot of pew pew.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Lots of pew pew. And not necessarily why I'm here, but not that I can't enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not here for that, but it did look pretty.
Oh yeah, real pretty. Those two ships slamming into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Two saucer sections just like sliding across each other. Oof. It's rough.
That looked dope.
Do we know what ship they're on in this? We saw something A. Could see the numbers in A.
Well, Todd Stashwick, and we don't have a character name for him yet, but he is playing, this is the guy from 12 Monkeys, he is playing the captain of the Titan A.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's what ship.
I believe that's the ship that Seven is the first officer on.
Okay. Who's the younger guy we see, like, talking to Picard?
That is the Ed Speleers, the assistant who aids Beverly.
Okay, I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah.
I know he would probably know if... he looks way younger. I know that he would probably know if this was a David situation. Like Picard would know. It makes me think that's like a lost son of Picard or something.
Oh, man.
The fact that his like possible ex has been living on a planet without, out in the outer planets or whatever. That would be really go into that like...
I really don't want them to do that.
Yeah.
And now I can't help but think it.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought when I saw him. Well, partially because he's just like a curly-headed guy who looks about the right age. And I was like, is this a David situation?
Oh, man. I hope he's not Picard's kid.
I don't know when they were last together, like Crusher and him. But if, like, whatever it was, however long ago, how long ago did he leave Starfleet? And did Starfleet abandon Romulus?
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have dates and timelines and stuff on my screen. I know she went off to be head of Starfleet Medical at the end of Nemesis.
Oh, okay. So that's been a while.
But that doesn't mean that, they couldn't have hooked up.
Sure. Well, no, I mean, like, I think that guy looks too old to be a product of their love that he wouldn't know about, is my point. But, like...
I mean, there's nothing to say. I mean, just because they haven't mentioned it on screen doesn't mean that, they didn't have a kid.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, shit, how long do we go without knowing Kirk had a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, we all assumed he had a few.
We've also talked about how this show is called Picard, and if they wanted to ever continue it, they would just need another Picard to do so. Yeah.
And Terry Matalas has made references to this being, a stepping stone to the next generation.
Interesting. Well, I hate this idea because it seems so derivative, but I do like it thematically for Picard because we all know his struggles with family and coming to terms with family. And he just in this last season had this whole like opening of his heart to love again and all this stuff. That could be redirected toward love of family, which is something he's always missed. So, maybe he and Beverly don't get back together, which I was kind of thinking might happen in this final season. Maybe he either like reconnects with a son that we haven't even heard about yet.
Yeah. The only way I'd be okay with it, especially since like Generations hit so hard. Like the best thing about Generations, aside from Malcolm McDowell just being fantastic, was Picard's loss of lineage, like feeling like there will be no more Picards. So I rather like the idea that he has a son. I just don't want him to get stabbed by Vadic or some shit.
Oh yeah, that would be terrible.
That would be want worse. It to literally be the David story.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking long lost son. Because as much as that was an impactful and sad thing, it was not Kirk's story to like always wish he had a family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was in there. It was mixed in all of his stuff about, like, he chose the Enterprise, and I don't think he ever regretted that choice, you know?
I think he definitely regretted it, but that was who he was. You know what I mean?
Right. No. Yeah, he had moments of questioning, for sure. I mean, like, that's what the whole, like, end of all the movies are about. But, like, I think that... by the end, he's like really knows he made the right decision. And I think Picard's in Generations, when Picard loses his family, there's like a real sense of like, he's let his lineage down. Like he's let down his chance to have, to continue the Picard name and all this stuff. Like it was, and it's something that really meant something to him. So I would hope they wouldn't do the actual David story where, yeah. That would be terrible.
He's had enough strife in that family.
Yes, agreed. Just if you're going to give him a kid, don't take that kid away.
Yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, they're being secretive. They're not giving names. Like they didn't give a name for that character or the character for the captain of the Titan A.
Yeah.
But we did see the Enterprise F.
Ooh, we did?
Yes.
Cool.
When they're talking about like something is coming, a darkness or whatever, and we saw like that Sovereign class ship with the very arrowhead saucer section flying towards. That was like the main ship we saw joining that fleet heading out was the Enterprise F.
Yep, there it is, NCC 1701F. I'm looking right at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Sovereign class. That's the same as E?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. But just like a more pointy saucer, or is that how
it does,
pointy the saucer
not
is?
all, just because it's part of a class doesn't mean it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, no, I know they can have some variants.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, look at how many Enterprise 1701s we've seen.
I know. And like the Enterprise B was an Excelsior class, but had quite a bit of distinction from the Excelsior itself.
Yeah, I was just teasing you about the 1701 and how the reboot has the different one. And
okay.
I was just saying it was like a different refit.
We'll see. I was thinking about the different refits between the Cage, Where No Man Has Gone Before, and the original series.
Right. Agreed.
Not to mention the refit, in the movies.
It's cool that there's the Enterprise F on here. I wonder if that's the ship they'll be on most of the show. It would be nice. It would be nice if they're on an Enterprise.
I don't know.
It'd be a nice touch.
I don't think it'll be the main one. I think the main one will probably be the Titan, but I might be wrong.
Cool. Well, anything else we're missing? You feel like in this trailer to talk about?
No, not really. Like you were saying, I'm really interested to see Raffi and Worf interact.
Yeah,
but I don't have much. Like, I just want to know what they're doing. I'm ready to see the show already.
Yeah, me too, man. It's so close, like 2 weeks. Okay, here's my theory about Picard's kid, who's clearly Picard's kid.
What are you gonna do if it's not?
We're going to be disappointed, probably, even though we're upset about the idea.
We're fans. That's what happens when you're a fan of a thing.
You can't help but hate it.
You theorize, get angry at your theory, and then get mad when the theory isn't true.
Exactly,
you can't please us.
Okay, here's my theory. What's going on with Picard's son?
Who's clearly his son.
Clearly his son.
Until he's not ring.
Yeah. So it's that classic, like, our son, Picard, our son is fallen in with some terrorist group, and that's how, like, Crusher knows about this, like, group and knows what's going on. It's because her son is involved somehow. And that's, like, how she's gotten this intel and calls and is like, I need your help. You're the only one that can stop him, or you're the only one that can save him, or whatever. And he comes out to try to, like, stop whatever's going on with this terrorist group and maybe save his son. And if it's not his son, maybe he's just saving Beverly's son, which could also be pretty powerful.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I can see it. If he's been helping her, like, with worlds that the Federation has forgotten, maybe he just finally gets fed up and pissed off.
Yeah,
and he's like,
just gets radicalized by someone with, like, a charismatic leader, and he's doing the same job Beverly's doing, like, trying to fight for these planets, but he's just like, Mom, you're a half measure. I'm going all in on this,
Yeah. And then Picard's like, why does everything that come out of your vagina rebel against the Federation?
Next thing you know, he'll be an omnipotent creature. Omnipotent interspatial creature. She tends to birth those.
She's like, I don't know. I think it has to do with the, like, phasing X-rays or something, like. She's like... Maybe Beverly has been like a lifelong hypochondriac. She's been just like bombarding herself with some sort of like tricorder waves or something.
Yeah, probably so.
It's a good thing I don't write for Star Trek.
Oh, man. Okay, so do you want to get into this last bit of news that you had?
Sure. We had a Section 31 update. They did a... Blah. So, Michelle Yeoh just won, what was it, the Golden Globe?
I believe so.
And Tanya Giles, the chief programming officer of Paramount Streaming, told TV Line at the TCA press tour that there have been conversations about the Section 31 series and said it's still in development. We've been hearing that for years, but,
Yeah, for sure.
Michelle Yeoh is busy. She's doing that Witcher series right now.
Oh, I didn't know she was doing the Witcher series.
Yeah, it's like a mini series. It's a new mini series in that universe. She's kind of in high demand at the moment.
Yeah. It seems like she was ready to do that Section 31 series, then she got real popular for doing other things, and now she's not very available.
Yeah,
You keep putting it off, and at some point, I feel like it's just gonna fall off the table if they don't strike while the iron is secret. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Section 31 pun, but couldn't.
Yeah, I'm too tired. They did a Trek Talks panel, and so there's some news that came out of that. There's a Prodigy update we have from the Hagman brothers, and they've been talking. They did the Trek Talks panel, and they did a Mission Log podcast. And I'll just give you the highlights. Kevin Hagman says, we don't know when Season 2 is going to be released of Prodigy. We're hoping it will be later this year. And we know that they're in multiple stages of production on Season 2. They want Season 2 to carry on Season 1's DNA, but feel very different. They're hoping for many more seasons. They have plans for Season 3 and 4, and they have plans for a movie.
That's fun.
On the Mission Log podcast, Kevin Hagman says to be able to have the show and then to have a feature, like, it would be amazing. And not just an animated feature, but if you could do a live action feature, it would be absolutely stunning. We have lofty ambitions. And then his brother Dan went, theme park rides. So Mike McMahon was doing the Trek Talks panel as well, and said Season 4 of Lower Decks, we should expect a lot more of T'Lyn, the Vulcan officer who came on.
Cool.
He says there's an amazing episode where we go to Orion, which I've been dying to do for so long. There's a very romantic episode. It's almost like a Valentine's Day episode, but I'm not going to reveal if kissing happens in it because it will give away what happens. He says there's a wedding in Season 4. Brace yourself. Get on your Worf wedding attire and look forward to that. The wedding of the season is coming. And in Season 4, you will see more Peanut Hamper. I don't think she will ever get another full standalone episode, but you get a really fun, good Peanut Hamper story in Season 4. All that sounds pretty great except for Peanut Hamper, but I knew she'd be coming back.
Oh, yeah, but didn't she end up with...
Yeah, she's hooked
Jeffrey
up with
Combs?
Jeffrey Combs' bot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he's called on the show.
I don't remember what he's called.
Jeffrey Combs Botworks. Yeah, but if for no other reason, I'm excited because Jeffrey Combs Bot is there.
Yeah. Scott Bakula was also at this event, and he says that he is open to coming back. He has been doing acting long enough to never say no to anybody. He's done animated voiceover work, so he would enjoy doing that as well. He said it just hasn't come across his desk yet.
Interesting.
He says he does appreciate being referred to as Legacy as opposed to Old Trek. But man, they should get Scott back.
100%, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't get it for way too long. Yeah, no, they definitely should get him back. I really like. I like him as an actor in lots of different things, but particularly, I just feel like that story has a lot of meat left on the bones. There's a lot. I mean, there's 100 years of story between that and the strange new worlds of it all. Yeah.
I don't know. I would be fine seeing I want that. I want an anthology show with freaking Q narrating it like he's Rod Serling.
Yeah, me too. Sounds really great.
Tales from the Continuum. I want to see Archer with dementia feeding his stuffed dog cheese, just shoving it down his frozen throat.
That's a weird desire, Dave. I'm on board with most of your ramblings. No, I'm not on board with most of them. But, this one's a particularly weird one.
I don't know, man. Dark Knight Returns, Balboa. I really like those gritty, golden years stories, know?
Yeah, me too. But they're not, that's when they still have, a story to tell. It's not when they have dementia and they're shoving cheese into a false dog. Those two stories you just, mentioned are nothing like what you're describing.
I mean, that just came out of my mouth,
right, I get it. Bypass the brain completely. I understand.
If someone let me write it, I would give it more than that.
I would hope so.
I would love to see Archer doing something having a serious story, and then just from time to time he's just yelling at his stuffed dog, suddenly just being I said no more cheese, damn it.
I mean, it's just he's older, but we just watched a 90-year-old Picard gallivanting around. We don't have to stick Archer in a old folks home.
Yeah, Picard is 200 years past Archer.
Yeah, well, yeah, but in age, he's 40 years younger, or 30
I'm talking
years
about
younger.
the technology, the medical technology isn't quite there yet.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, I mean, according to that screen in the Mirror Universe episodes of Enterprise,
yeah,
I believe Archer dies the day the 1701 Enterprise is launched, or the day after, something like that.
Interesting. How long has it been in service when Kirk takes it?
God, I don't know, because canonically Robert T. April had it for a while, and then Christopher Pike, and then we know that the Cage was 15 years before the original series. So
right.
So that line in Star Trek 3 where the guy was like, the Enterprise is 20 years old. Total bullshit. It's way older.
Yeah. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Not given all that. All right. Well, any other news?
Nah, man. That's it.
Well, Dave, I'm excited to embark on Picard Season 3 with you.
Yeah, man. I'm excited as well.
I feel like, me and you bonded over Star Trek while TNG was on the air, so many moons ago. And so it's I just think it's really cool to be able to cover this finale, supposedly, what may or may not be the swan song for the Picard character. Pecan? I almost said the Pecan character.
Pecan!
Pecan! Okay, there's a good cartoon in there somewhere. I see like
Butter pecan!
like a Family Guy thing, like a kid is allergic to pecans, and then he reads the packaging after reading it. No! Pecan! Okay. But genuinely, I'm excited to cover this show. I've been enjoying the last 2 years of it, and this is going to be a good finale for the series. At least
despite the reviews that we've given, you have enjoyed the last 2 years.
Oh, I've enjoyed watching them. I have not loved. I really liked the first season like a lot, and then I just kind of hated the ending.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they're more thoughtful with since this is probably the last season of the show, at least in this format. I'm hoping they're being really thoughtful about the way they end the series, and even just having him with all the old crew is just a step up on the nostalgia meter. It'll be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to clown. Very interested to see what they do.
Same, man. Same.
I'm getting geared up to be disappointed.
Yeah, that's what we do. Well, friend, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Joel on True.
Yeah, man. You too. Live long and do that prospering thing.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.